afternoon. Welcome to Younib TV Live at 1 with me, Penina Wachera. On to the first news. The Kenya National Commission on Human Rights has expressed concerns about the increase in human rights violation in the country over the past year. The Commission reports that more Kenyans have been arbitrarily killed, arrested, or disappeared. Also criticizes the government for the chaotic transition from NHIF to SHA. Here is the report.
The Commission documented 60 deaths and ranged from deep fractures, bullet wounds, soft tissue injuries, and inhalation of tear gas. Most of the injuries were inflicted by the security officers against protesters.
But we have noted a trend that the people who were abducted were either very vocal during the protests, or people who were active in civil society or human rights defenders. But we cannot say that there is that direct relationship.
So it's an issue which we will continue pushing so that it can be resolved. It's a matter that can even be declared as a national disaster because our women and the girls are suffering.
We have effectively returned to the era of an uncountable state power, extrajudicial killings, abduction, corruption, weaponizing investigative agencies for political purposes, undermining media freedom, and insidious overbearing hand on organized civil society organizations.
Ironically, it is this very president who promised that none of these egregious acts of human rights violations were going to take place under his administration. What we witnessed during the pro-good governance demonstrations against the Finance Bill 2024 in June and July was at a scale like we never witnessed, even at the height of the Moi dark eras.
Dr. Kiza Bezinge, Ugandan's opposition leader, was imprisoned by the military. The prominent opposition politician in Uganda was kidnapped in an apartment on Riverside Drive in Nairobi and taken to a Ugandan military jail. He was detained until Wednesday and charged with security and illegal possession of firearms. Here is the report.
I think it would be unfair to make a ruling before we have had the benefit of legal representation in that matter.
That this is a dangerous precedent that we are picking up. As a nation and as a country, we should not be seen as the haven to break laws, the haven that any person who may be within our jurisdiction, we have opened a wide berth for them to be picked up, for them to be subjected to any inhuman treatment or torture in any way.
As a commission, working in liaison with other human rights institutions, especially our sister commission in Uganda, we will get in touch so that we see how we can ensure our region is compliant in terms of human rights obligations.
In the midst of global celebrations, thousands of children have been victims of violence, highlighting the need for strong policies to protect their welfare and future. According to the 2023 Economic Survey, 161,000 children require protection, with over 123,000 experiencing violence. Here is the report.
You have been charged with the offense of child pornography, contrary to Section 24(1)(b) of the Computer Misuse. You intentionally and unlawfully produce obscene images depicting the image of a child, PW, with a mobile phone make Samsung.
We have almost 3 cases in safe houses for children who are defiled and impregnated, and we are prosecuting their cases through the legal aid.
Mtongo pote sijakaa vizuri juu mtongo alitoka pevi akiwa ni mgonjwa, nasikia kona mimi sijui pinya yako.
Hapo ndio walipata CCTV ilikuwa inafanya nini? Imemshika, lakini hakuacha kama imemshika picha nyingine na watoto hapo kakinyia kwa hiyo supermarket. Wanisaidie kama ni uwezo, waniletea mtoto. Kwa sababu bani nafanya nini? Mimi nalia. Mimi mwenyewe sina amani. Ninakaa na watoto mimi peke yangu. Niweze tu wangeniambia tu, mama, tumeshinda mali tunaweza. Nione kenye nafanya nini? Naweza.
President William Ruto has pledged 100 million shillings to support a 16-day campaign against gender-based violence and a probe into rising cases of femicide in Kenya. During a meeting with women leaders at State House in Nairobi, the head of state tasked the criminal justice system to hold perpetrators accountable. Here is the report.
So we are ready, willing and available. We know that every 4 out of 5 women killed is out of intimate partner violence, which means that our women are being killed in places they consider safe. We must equip our young people with the skills and awareness to navigate the risks they face in society. Social media has become a dangerous avenue for exploitation. We must increase awareness on the availability of safe spaces where victims can seek refuge, toll-free hotlines such as GBV 1195, Child Help 116, and the DCI anonymous reporting number 0800-722-203. And I say so as a parent of 4 girls myself. Be present and approachable for your children. Let us create homes where children feel safe, supported, and loved.
On to other news. Residents of Kiambu face the possibility of yet another distraction to facilitate the government's social housing project. The government has proposed to remove the current slum, which residents alleged belongs to the Kenyan Defence Force, in order to create new affordable social housing. A heated public participation meeting took place on Tuesday at the Kiambu grounds. Here is the report.
Nataka mnisikize. 5,000 people wanaishi nje kama wanyama. Hawajapewa mahali pa kulala mpaka saizi. The same people wenye serikali haikuwa compensate. Ndio bado mkuje kwao mwa promise na sasa serikali itawapatia manyumba. Wanafaa kuamini.
Kila boma serikali tutawapatia shilingi 10,000 ya kutafuta makao mahali mtakaa mkingojea mpango ya serikali.
Bomolewa tulikubali bomolewe. Na wakasema baada ya ubomoaji watapanda nini miti. Hiyo ndio tunahitaji kuona miti ikipandwa, sio nyumba zingine tena zikijengwa huko.
On other news, the National Assembly has completed the first round of a series of meetings to gather Kenyans' perspectives on proposed revision to the 2024 budget bill. Residents of Taita Taveta and Kericho counties expressed their feelings about the proposals. Here is the report.
Hakuna taxation ambayo iko proposed ya content creation. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. There is nothing like that. The proposal in the bill is to tax the platform, not the use of the platform.
Kitu tunaomba tuangalie hata sisi maslahi yetu. Na yale mengine niliyosema, pesa pia za hizi zinatoka za county. Tunastahili zijeke kwa muda wake kama kawaida, kwa maana kuna watu wanazitegemea.
Ya kwamba tuweze kuwa na utaratibu, hata kama kutakuwepo na kutozwa ile kodi, hatukatai, lakini tuangalie hawa vijana tunapowekea hii kodi, je, wanasaidika kwa namna gani?
Because these are businesses. You know, TikTok is a business that is registered in China. They are generating an income from Kenya. Facebook is a business that's registered in another different country that they're generating income in Kenya. And when a business generates income from, they should pay their fair share of tax in that particular country.
The corruption and the management of those taxes, I think that is where the problem is. And I think as a country, we shall take back the report and say Kenyans are willing to pay taxes. But we as leaders, we must devise ways and means of managing those resources properly and actually punishing the corrupt public servants.
During a public hearing, the Budget and Appropriation Committee Chair Dindi Nyoro expressed dissatisfaction with the government's plan to prioritize recurrent expenditure over development. The National Treasury has been urged to realign its expenditure priorities and revenue projections to avoid unrealistic targets. Here is the report.
We keep doing the same mistake all the time. For the last 10 years, our ordinary revenue has only been achieved 67% for the last 10 years on average. Now, if then you always have a downfall or a shortfall between our targets and the actual revenue, then why do we always then have to target higher?
You will see that in July, KRA missed the target by 35 billion. In August, it missed the target by 25 billion. In September, which is normally a tax month, it made good progress and only missed the target by 10 billion. And in October, KRA did what has never happened. It raised 208 billion against a target of 201. Chairman, the 1 trillion that you spoke about being in our budget, we are taking measures, working with Central Bank, to make sure that we lower borrowing costs. And if we achieve lower costs, the 750 billion that we have budgeted for domestic borrowing should be able to come down, and we are able to create fiscal space.
If we want to unlock the value of our corporations and especially state-owned enterprises, we have to dilute government from these institutions. Government can still control Kenya Power with 25% stake, as it controls Safaricom when it wants, in terms of being a shareholder at 35% stake.
This has been your news update with me, Penina Wachera. Remember that everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. Continue enjoying our shows here at Younib TV. Until next time, do have a great afternoon.
Ha ha ha.